the world did not run out of stones when the Stone Age ended. The world's not going to run out of oil before the oil age ends. And so again, they're aware that they have a time clock. So the best thing for them to do is to spend their money on education and vocational training, and they're doing that.
It seems as though the United States should have an interest in a Saudi-Syrian relationship or reconciliation. Has the United States shown any interest?
You know, Susurus is a wonderful news service, and every single day there are about 15 articles on Saudi Arabia, and I will print up 3 of them, but I'll look at the paragraphs on all 15 and print up 3 of them. And you have to make choices because you just can't read everything. I mean, the world is so full of information, and Susurus does this great service supplying all this wonderful information every single day. So I make choices, and one of the choices I made a long time ago was not to follow Syria, so I just can't answer.
Okay. You know what, speaking though of making sure you read what's good out there, I just want to give you a chance to go ahead and plug in your book, because talking with you, we've heard a lot of people talk, and they've been kind of boring and a little dull. And I must say that you did an excellent job of really relating it back to the American public and making sure that they understand. So real quick, I just want to give you an opportunity to say something about your book.
This is my book, Prophets and Princes. It was published by John Wiley and Sons last fall. It starts with the birth of Muhammad, and it goes all the way up to 2008. The first 2/3 of the book is a history, and the last third of the book is about Saudi Arabia since 9/11. A lot of people still think it's September 10th, 2001 in Saudi Arabia. They don't realize how many changes Saudi Arabia has made since then. The Saudis did not know 9/11 was going to happen any more than we did. So yes, they were sending a lot of money to fundamentalist madrasas in Afghanistan and Pakistan, and they were giving money to charities that turned out to be fronts for Al-Qaeda. And they just thought they were being good, virtuous Muslims. When they saw where this led, they were horrified. They had about an initial year of denial, where they just didn't believe that the Saudis had done this. Of the 15 hijackers, 11 of them were mountain boys from the same hilly region of Saudi Arabia. And it took about a year for Saudis to just admit, yes, it was our citizens who did this. But once they got around to that, since then, they have fired 1,300 militant clerics and forbidden them to preach. They have changed the textbooks and gotten rid of hostile references to Jews and Christians. They have banned all Saudi charities from sending money abroad. They've taken away the collection boxes that used to be in schools and outside of mosques. So any money that's going abroad, the Saudis are going to control it. Now, if you're a really rich Saudi with foreign bank accounts, you can still give money to radical causes, but that's the only way it can be done. If you're in Saudi Arabia, you can't get your money to Al-Qaeda. They have shared information with the FBI and CIA. They've killed 150 of their own domestic terrorists. They have arrested 1,000 more and questioned several thousand beyond that. And the tips that they get are tips from disgusted neighbors. That's what makes Saudi Arabia today different than Iraq was, say, in 2006, is that the people hated the terrorists and would give the police tips on where they were. So and then in addition to that, King Abdullah has had these national dialogues between Sunni Muslims and Shia Muslims, and between people with different points of view. And the newspapers, while I wouldn't call them free, they've become much more active and critical than they used to be. So Saudi Arabians are talking about things and discussing things to a great degree that they never did before 9/11. So you just have to remember, the Saudis did not know 9/11 was going to happen any more than we did, and since then they've made many, many positive changes.
Okay. And now, one question that I really want to go ahead and add, and I don't think this one's going to be in your book because it's pretty recent, so I want to make sure that we get your opinion on this. What do you think that the Saudis would think about President Obama's recent award of the Peace Prize?
Well, I'm sure, like everybody else, they would say it was premature, and it was a prize to encourage progress rather than reward achievement. But since Obama himself said he didn't think he deserved to be among such a august company, I don't really see how you can fault Obama. I mean, it's not like he gave himself a prize. It's interesting, I was in Saudi Arabia in 2008, and I'm a Democrat, and so I was enthusiastic. I was telling them about Obama and had these maps from Politico.com that showed how the McCain-Obama race was evolving. And the Saudis would look at the map and they'd think about it, and then they'd say, oh, I don't think America's ready to elect a black man as president. So I know they were surprised by the election, and I think they were pleased. I mean, the whole idea that we have a president whose middle name is Hussein. I mean, how amazing is that? Can you imagine when we invaded Iraq in 2003, if somebody had said, oh, 5 years from now we're going to elect a president whose middle name is Hussein? I think it shows the openness of America, the social mobility of America, and also, when we elect a right-wing president, it doesn't impress the world that much. But when we elect a left-wing president, the rest of the world goes, oh my God, they're a democracy. They just changed their government. You know, Saudi Arabia cannot change. The monarchy has many virtues, but you can't change the government in Saudi Arabia. Most other Arab countries, you can't change the government. And here we changed our government. So it was a great lesson in democracy for the whole world. And I like to raise my blood pressure and listen to Rush Limbaugh and Sean Hannity when I'm driving. And I hear Rush Limbaugh just 2 days ago said, you know, this man is destroying America, Obama is destroying America's standing in the world. And Sean Hannity says, he's making America look weak around the world. And I'm thinking, have these guys traveled and just talk to foreigners? I mean, it's unbelievable that they can think that, because there's no question that America's standing in the world this year is infinitely higher than it was last year. And it was a Norwegian, it was the quotation of the day in the New York Times a couple days ago. He was justifying the prize. He said, has anybody done more to improve the climate of peace in the world in the last year than Barack Obama?
Thank you so
Oh, you're welcome.
much. We really appreciate
good,
it.
good.
Now,
Thank you.
real quick, I
Pleasure.
don't know if we got this on video, but can you tell us, I totally forgot to say this from, but when can we get this?
Right now.
Right now? Okay.
Yes. It's on Amazon.com. You can also go to Wiley.com. And if you go to a bookstore, you can order it. And most bookstores don't have it now, but you can always get it in a couple of days.
It's definitely worth ordering.
Yes. But let me read you one sentence, because I know the length of this book intimidates people, and some people go, oh, I'm not sure I can read this thing. So let me read one sentence. Yeah, here it is. A paragraph, excuse me. Most of my friends read more fiction than nonfiction, and the art of reading the two genres is quite different. A novel is a work of art that needs to be taken whole. A nonfiction book is a buffet. The reader has only to read what interests him or her. To make it easy for readers to jump and skip, I have divided each chapter into many subchapters. Some are obviously more interesting than others. The boyhood of Osama bin Laden, for example, is a more interesting topic for most people than are monthly fluctuations in the price of oil. And women's issues are generally more interesting than budget cutbacks and petrochemical plants are. Although a book on Saudi Arabia would not be complete without detailed discussions of the price of oil, no one ever said that you have to read every page of a nonfiction book.